The Vancouver Canucks give multiple perfect updates surrounding the team as we get a big update regarding injuries for one key player, and Adam Foote reveals a player returning to the lineup tonight. We get so much news regarding the Vancouver Canucks roster, plus an update on two Canucks prospects as they head into their second game of the World Juniors. There's so much we got to break down during this game, including an update on the lines, an update on the prospects, and so much more. Now, the big thing is, before we get into these injury updates on the Vancouver Canucks, I do want to touch on the prospects heading through this tournament. Now, with the World Juniors, we know the Canucks' top prospect, Braeden Cootes, was on and is on Team Canada, registering 0 points in his game last night as Canada took a 7-5 win, but Braeden Cootes did play just under 10 minutes. Now, with Braeden Cootes, he's a player that a lot of people looked on to start the year and didn't think that he could crack this lineup. Braeden Cootes still stationed on the fourth line, but moving over to the wing. Once again, shout out Dave Hall for his incredible updates. But with Braeden Cootes, still having him on this team is huge for the Canucks. We get to see Braeden Cootes play at a big level. He's been outstanding in the WHL and also looking great in the World Juniors in limited minutes. I do expect the farther they go into the tournament, they're going to realize how good Cootes is, and hopefully he gets promoted up the lineup with a very deep forward group for Team Canada. Now, the big thing with Team Canada, we know there's another juggernaut in this system, and that is Sweden. Now, with Wilson Bjorck, he was scratched in his first game going through. Sweden did take the win, but Sweden does like rotating through goaltenders and players, so hopefully Wilson Bjorck jumps straight into the lineup, because what's looking like a draft steal for the Vancouver Canucks, of course, made Sweden, his brothers on the team as well, who's been looking outstanding, and a possible player for the Canucks to target in Viggo Bjork. Now, this is a player that I want to see play. We've seen him play in the NCAA, playing great with Colorado, 8 points in 15 games. He looked incredible in the junior league for Sweden last year, winning the championship with 67 points in 43 games. Canucks fans, what is your thoughts on Braeden Cootes so far? What do you think Wilson Bjork does when he gets in the lineup? And we can't forget against Sansonnens, who has not played yet, but going into play. Now, the big thing is with the Canucks, the prospect updates are awesome, but we get even better updates coming from the Canucks themselves. As today, heading into their game, we did get an update that, of course, Filip Chytil is back on the ice in a non-contact jersey with the team during morning skate. Now, we know Filip Chytil went down with that disgusting hit from Tom Wilson in the Washington Capitals game that had him knocked out for quite some time, but seeing the forward back on the ice with the group, even in a non-contact jersey, is incredible to see. This is a forward at the end of the day. It doesn't matter about hockey. Just seeing his health, being at the stage where he can get back on is incredible. Now, the big thing with Filip Chytil, 3 goals in 6 games, including that awesome breakaway that he had in the start of the season versus Calgary. Getting Filip Chytil back is probably going to still be a couple weeks away. Getting him on the ice is a huge step in its rehab, and we've seen that he was skating on his own, but being out, the movement, and we get a quote coming from Adam Foote speaking on this as well. When I went to see him there was a lot of movement going on. I said, "You're good, eh?" And he said, "I feel so good." Now, seeing this quote, listen, players are going to lie on how they feel. They want to be on the ice. They do not want to be put on the bench. But seeing Filip Chytil just speak on his own to say that I feel good, seeing a lot of movement, this is incredible. Once again, not even from a hockey standpoint, but just as a person, seeing Filip Chytil back on the ice with his team is going to be awesome, and I cannot wait for his return. You can see here a bit of a muff in a shot on net, but nonetheless, Filip Chytil is back skating, and it's going to have some big implications on this team, of course, moving forward. We're going to have to fit him into the lineup, and I think it's going to be a matter of time before we see the forward back, which is incredible to see. I mean, right here, we can see that he's missed 30 games so far. The last game played was October 19th. Now, the expected date back there isn't really dead set, but seeing the Canucks are slowly getting out of this injury plague problem is great to see. Derek Forbort is someone that's progressing with his undisclosed injury that we haven't really got an update on. And Teddy Blueger, of course, went down in the Washington game. That was a cursed game where we see Jonathan Lekkerimäki hurt his shoulder, Filip Hronek and Teddy Blueger go out. But Canucks fans, what is your thoughts on Filip Hronek back on the ice? Even if it's in a non-contact jersey, it's awesome to see the forward back with the group. And Adam Foote himself said this has boosted the momentum and just the feeling around this team, seeing him on the ice and smiling. But he was not the only Canuck that returned today to practice and is set to play tonight. And of course, that is Elias Pettersson, PD. A big change since the last time I played with the new guys have been looking great. Excited for tonight. This was Pettersson speaking after the skate today, and we've seen Adam Foote say, hey, he's going to be a player tonight. Pettersson is back. Now, this was weird as well, because we've seen a lot of updates. We've seen Adam Foote saying just going into Christmas that Pettersson might not be back the first game. He might not be back the second. They don't want to put a timeline on it, but PD coming back is a huge boost for this Canucks group, not even down the middle, but in an entirety when it comes to the offensive end. Now with Pettersson, we see some new look lines. Rossi has looked great as the 1C with the Canucks, but now sliding as the 2C with DeBrusk and Boeser. We see Pettersson stationed right on the top line center once again with Sherwood and Kane. And of course, this is a group now that you're getting deep right center. Thank God David Kampf is not a 1C or a 2C, but now the 3C on this team. And hopefully he does slide back into where he's most comfortable on that fourth line. But looking at the lines, there's a lot to like on this. Garland playing down on the third line. A lot of people might question this, but the big thing is the Canucks are finally getting healthy. They went on a bit of a run, of course. They had the stinker coming into Christmas against the Flyers and Rick Tocchet. And of course, this is a team that wants to continue the momentum. Thatcher Demko was the first one out of the crease. So the big thing is Thatcher Demko starting tonight, getting Pettersson back, the new look lines, the defense look outstanding. I am so happy that Tom Villiner continues to stay in this lineup, but this does come with a cost. Of course, you're going to have to scratch players, and it does get interesting when we're looking at this. Now, before looking at the scratch players and some implications on them, getting Pettersson back, 8 goals, 22 points. Yes, you want to see the forward go at a point per game or higher, but his defensive end, he's finally not having to play every defensive zone start, and we're going to see a boost in his production. I'm expecting to see him score a goal. I mean, seeing the last time we played the Sharks with that filthy breakaway or whatever you want to call it goal against the team, but this does come once again with a cost where we do see Aatu Räty, Joseph, and Höglander all scratched going into tonight's game. Now, Höglander's interesting. He came back from injury. We've seen Adam Foote say, hey, we want to keep him out of the lineup, in and out, just so we can get him back in because he did miss some time. Aatu Räty, once again, I don't know what this kid did to get in the doghouse of Adam Foote. If you're looking at the lineup alone, Aatu Räty would look incredible on that third line. Maybe there's a David Kampf trade coming at some point, but fans, what is your thoughts on this? What is your thoughts on all these updates? The World Junior updates, getting Pettersson back, and awesome to see that Filip Hronek is back on the ice and skating. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments, and speaking on comments, let's head straight into comments today. Never thought Cootes or Wilson would have made their team rosters. This is awesome to see, and honestly, it is incredible. Sansonnens is another guy to watch for Switzerland as well, but the Canucks are finally getting recognition on their prospects, including one taken in the first round, someone taken in a very late round of the 5th round with Wilson, Bjorck, and Sansonnens as well, the big defenseman. Let me know all your thoughts, and you could be featured on Comment of the Day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode. Once again, I hope everyone's having awesome holidays. I've been your host, Mark Pye, and take care, Canucks fans. Go Canucks, go.